Every car you have ever bought got more expensive the longer you kept it. Depreciation, repairs, insurance, age, it all stacks up. But these 8 cars work differently. The longer you own them, the cheaper they get. Stick around, because number 1 is the old school money saver everyone forgot right now. Number 8. Mercury Milan, 2010 to 2011, 2.54 cylinder. Nobody wakes up dreaming about a Mercury Milan, and that is exactly why the value is hiding in plain sight. This sedan is cheap because the badge died, not because the basic car became useless. Underneath, the right Milan shares a lot of normal Ford family thinking, and shops that have worked on Fusion sedans are not scared of it. That is the mechanism that makes it cheaper every year. The depreciation curve is already flat. Insurance is usually calmer because it is an older, low-profile sedan, and the repair path is familiar. Buy one for around $5,000, and the first year is usually the reset year. About $500 lost to value, about $700 for basic coverage, and about $900 for tires, fluids, brakes, or suspension catch-up. Year 2 gets easier, about $300 in value loss, about $650 for insurance, and about $700 in normal repairs. Year 3 is where the math starts feeling smarter, maybe $200 in value loss, around $600 for insurance, and about $600 for normal upkeep if year 1 was handled right. The market is wrong because people hear Mercury and imagine orphan parts, but the 2.5-liter 4-cylinder and 6-speed automatic are tied to common service knowledge. That means a starter, alternator, brake job, wheel bearing, oxygen sensor, or control arm does not turn into a dealer mystery. We target the 2.5, not a neglected V6 with all-wheel drive wear, because the whole point is simple ownership, not more parts to chase. The current price is usually $3,000 to $7,000, with rough cars lower and low-mile survivors higher. Compare that with a newer compact that still drops $1,000 a year while carrying higher insurance, and the Milan starts to look like a cheaper tool. Here is the owner's trick. Keep the Milan boring. Do not buy the one with chrome wheels, cheap coilovers, dark tint, and a trunk full of hacked audio wire. Buy the plain sedan with receipts, matching tires, working heat, and a seller who knows when the fluids were changed. That is how a cheap car turns into a low-risk daily, not another driveway problem. Inspection is basic but important. Test warm shifts, check coolant, listen for front-end clunks, look at tire wear, run the air conditioning, windows, locks, and charging system. Then inspect rockers and brake lines if it lives near salt. Choose this car when you want a plain sedan with cheaper parts, low image tax, and almost no room left for depreciation. And if Milan is the dead brand discount, number 7 is the Toyota that quietly turns every gallon into savings. Number 7. Toyota Echo, 2000 to 2005. Small cars get laughed at until gas jumps again. Then the Toyota Echo starts looking like a little accountant with wheels. This thing is not here for comfort, pride, or highway muscle. It is here because the ownership math gets better the longer you keep it. The depreciation is already near the floor, so you are not bleeding value every month. The real mechanism is fuel cost plus tiny wear items. A healthy Echo can live in the 30+ miles per gallon range, and that adds up when you drive 12,000 miles a year. Here is the simple math. Buy one for $4,500. Year 1 value loss is around $200. Insurance can be about $550 on basic coverage. Fuel can cost near $1,300, and repairs may run $700 if old tires or fluids are due. Year 2, depreciation drops toward $100. Insurance can sit around $500. Fuel stays about the same, and repairs can fall towards $600. Year 3, value loss can be nearly zero if the car stays clean. Insurance remains low, and repairs often settle near $500 when the basics are sorted. That is not fantasy. That is what happens when a car has small tires, small brakes, basic fluids, and a 1.5-liter 4-cylinder that every Toyota shop understands. The market is wrong because nobody brags about an Echo. People call it awkward, light, and boring, then overpay for newer cars that burn more fuel and depreciate harder. The Echo does not need expensive wheels, complicated suspension, a turbo, direct injection, or a screen that ages badly. Manual cars are the purest, cheaper play, but automatics are fine when the fluid is clean and shifts feel smooth. Current price usually runs $3,000 to $7,000, with clean low-mile cars higher because old Toyotas are getting noticed. This is also one of those cars where your habits matter. Drive it like a normal man. Keep the tires aired up. Change oil on time. And do not ignore cooling problems. The car rewards that boring routine with a lower annual cost because every little part is smaller, lighter, and cheaper than what you buy for a midsize SUV. That is not glamorous, but it is real money. Inspection is where you protect the savings. Check oil level, coolant color, air conditioning, rust at the rockers and rear suspension points, then drive it at highway speed and feel for wandering, vibration, or brake shake. A cheap Echo with rusty bones is not a deal. An ugly Echo with records can be golden. Choose this car when fuel cost, low insurance, and small repair bills matter more than comfort, power, or pride. But if you want more comfort without losing the floor price trick, number 6 is the forgotten coupe with cheap GM repair math. Number 6. Chevrolet Monte Carlo, 2004 to 2007, non-SS models first. Old coupes usually get ignored because buyers want 4 doors, but that is exactly where the Chevrolet Monte Carlo can start saving money. The smarter budget play is not the loudest SS with a rough history. It is the clean V6 car that nobody knows how to price. The mechanism is parts abundance. These cars share basic GM front drive service thinking, with a pile of sedans and coupes, so brakes, wheel bearings, sensors, alternators, starters, suspension pieces, cooling parts, and used trim are still easy to source. Depreciation is already tiny, because the market does not know what to do with an older 2-door family car. Buy one for around $5,000, and year 1 may cost about $300 in value loss, about $650 for insurance, and about $1,000 in repairs if the suspension, fluids, and brakes need a reset. Year 2 is calmer, about $200 in depreciation, about $600 for insurance, and about $700 in repairs. Year 3 can land near $100 in depreciation, $550 for insurance, and $500 in maintenance if the cooling system and brakes were handled. That is how it gets cheaper. The first year fixes neglect, then common GM parts and familiar labor keep the bill predictable. The market is wrong because people either dismiss it as an old person coupe or chase the SS badge and miss the regular car. We want simple, clean, and unmodified. A normal V6 Monte Carlo can give you a comfortable cabin, relaxed highway manners, and enough trunk space for real life without the SUV tax. It will not sip fuel like an Echo, but it avoids modern turbo repairs, complex transmissions, and screen-dependent headaches. The current price is usually $3,000 to $8,000 for solid non-SS drivers, with clean SS cars sometimes above budget. Another reason the cost drops is that the learning curve is short. After you own one for a year, you know the noises, the tire wear pattern, the brake feel, and the service rhythm. That means fewer panic repairs and more planned fixes. Planned fixes are cheaper fixes because you buy parts ahead, choose your shop, and stop paying emergency prices. Inspection is straight garage work. Check coolant condition, temperature stability, warm shift quality, low speed steering feel, wheel bearings, front suspension, and trunk water leaks. Watch for hacked audio wiring because a cheap stereo job can create annoying electrical problems. If it runs warm, shifts hard, or smells sweet after a drive, walk away. Choose this car when you want a cheaper, comfortable coupe with common GM parts and almost no depreciation risk. If the Monte Carlo wins with parts, number 5 wins because Toyota bones are hiding under a name many buyers never type. If this kind of straight ownership math helps, subscribe. We look past shiny listings and show what cars really cost after the sale. Number 5. Toyota Solara, 2004 to 2008. Here's the quiet trick. The Toyota Solara is cheap because people forgot Camry hardware can wear a different body. Shoppers type Camry, Corolla, and RAV4. Then skip the Solara because it has 2 doors or because the convertible looks like a weekend car. That search gap is the opportunity. The mechanism that makes it cheaper every year is a mix of bottomed depreciation and Toyota repair familiarity. The car is old, discontinued, and not trendy, so the value loss is already small, but the service path still feels normal to shops that know Toyota 4-cylinders and V6 cars. Buy a solid coupe for around $6,000. Year 1, figure about $500 in value loss, about $700 for insurance, and about $900 in repairs if tires, fluids, brakes, or suspension need work. Year 2, value loss can slide toward $300, insurance near $650, and repairs around $700. Year 3, Depreciation may be $200, insurance around $600, and maintenance around $600 if the first year cleanup was done. That is the pattern we want. Value loss shrinks, repairs become known, and the car settles into a cheap old Toyota rhythm. The market is wrong because it prices the Solara like an odd coupe, not like a Camry cousin. The four-cylinder can be the cheaper runner, but oil history matters. The 3.3 V6 gives smoother power, but timing belt proof is not optional. A convertible can be fun, but roof leaks, dead top motors, wet carpet, and trunk moisture can turn a bargain into painful regret. Current price usually runs $4,000 to $9,000 for clean coupes and some convertibles, with low mileage examples higher. Compare it with a newer used sedan, still losing value every year, and the Solara starts looking smarter if you do not need 4 doors. The other advantage is emotional discipline. A Solara does not invite you to modify it, race it, or pretend it is something else. You buy tires, fluids, brakes, maybe a timing belt on the V6, and then you drive it. That calm ownership is why annual cost can keep drifting downward instead of exploding sideways. Inspection is simple. Check oil level, ask about oil use, get timing belt proof on V6 cars, inspect the top if equipped, look for water in the trunk, listen for suspension clunks, and study tire wear. A neat interior with receipts matters more than shiny paint. Choose this car when you want Toyota service familiarity, low depreciation, and a comfortable older car that most buyers forget to search for. Number 4 is where repair familiarity gets even stronger, because Honda and Acura mechanics know the next one like an old friend. Number 4. Acura TSX, 2004 to 2008. Premium badges usually scare budget buyers, but the Acura TSX can be a smart exception when you buy the right one. It started life as a nicer compact sedan, then took the big depreciation hit years ago. Now, driver-quality cars sit near the money for a normal used sedan, and that is where the ownership math changes. The mechanism is repair familiarity. The K24 4-cylinder is well known, parts support is strong, and independent Honda and Acura shops have seen these cars for years. Buy one for around $7,000. Year 1 can look like $600 in depreciation, $800 in insurance, and $1,000 in repairs if mounts, tires, air conditioning, or suspension need to catch up. Year 2 gets easier, with value loss around $400, insurance around $750, and repairs around $700. Year 3 can be even better, with depreciation near $200, insurance around $700, and repairs around $600 if the first year was handled. Manual cars can hold value better, especially if clean, which means the resale floor may do some of the work for you. The market is wrong because many shoppers either overpay for a Civic or jump into a newer turbo sedan with more complexity. They miss the TSX because it looks like a plain old Acura, not a prize. That is the opportunity. It gives you a better cabin, a naturally aspirated engine, and a repair path that does not need modern gimmicks. Current price usually runs $4,000 to $9,500 for drivers, with clean manuals or low-mile cars higher. The drivetrain is the reason we like it, but we still inspect it hard. Automatics can work if the fluid history is clean and shifts are smooth. Manuals need clutch feel, no gear grind, and no abuse story. Watch for air conditioning compressor issues, engine mounts, power steering leaks, control arms, and tire wear. The real saving comes after you stop treating it like a premium badge and start treating it like a well-built Honda family sedan. Do the fluids, fix mounts before they tear everything else up, and buy quality tires instead of cheap, noisy rubber. A TSX rewards that with stable handling, quiet miles, and fewer surprises than many newer compact sedans. On the test drive, start cold, idle, warm it fully, then check highway tracking and braking. A TSX with a stack of receipts can feel like a cheaper premium car every year you own it. A rough one with cheap tires and warning lights is just an expensive Civic-shaped headache. Choose this car when you want a comfortable, sharp driving sedan with proven Honda family hardware and little room left for depreciation. If the TSX is the smart sedan, number 3 is the odd cargo box that may become more valuable as good ones disappear. Number 3. Honda Element, 2003 to 2011. Strange shapes sometimes age better than pretty ones, and the Honda Element proves it every time somebody loads a dog crate, camping gear, tools, bikes, or muddy weekend junk into that square cabin. This one gets cheaper in a different way. A good Element may not drop much in value anymore. The mechanism is a strong resale floor, useful cargo space, Honda K24 familiarity, and a cult following that keeps demand alive. Buy a clean high-mile driver around $8,500, and year one may show only about $300 in value loss, about $700 for insurance, and $1,000 in repairs if tires, suspension, or air conditioning need work. Year 2 can drop to $0 to $200 in depreciation, $650 in insurance, and $700 in repairs. Year 3, resale may stay flat if you keep it clean. Insurance can sit around $600, and repairs can settle near $600. That is not normal old car math. The Element gets cheaper because the value floor holds, while the usefulness keeps you from needing a second vehicle or a bigger SUV. The market is wrong because many shoppers still see an ugly old box. Campers, dog owners, small business guys, and weekend gear people already understand the shape, but driver-grade examples under 10 grand still exist if you move carefully. The current price is usually $5,000 to $10,000 for higher-mile drivers, with clean, low-mile examples often over budget. Front-wheel drive is cheaper to maintain than all-wheel drive, and manuals are fun but harder to find. Avoid rusty, modified, flooded, or wet interior cars because the boxy cabin can hide a rough life. Here's where the Element saves money beyond repairs. It replaces other stuff. You may not need a small trailer, a roof box, a weekend beater, or a bigger SUV when the rear seats fold away and the floor takes abuse. That utility has value, and the market is only now catching up. Inspection is not optional. Check rear trailing arm areas, underbody rust, suspension bushings, tires, air conditioning, cooling fans, rear doors, hatch function, and water intrusion. Also, fold the seats and load real gear because the Element wins with utility, not brochure numbers. A clean Element can be a commuter, camper, cargo box, dog hauler, and weekend machine, all with parts that support shops understand. Choose this car when you want one simple vehicle that can haul gear, commute, camp, and hold value because the market cannot replace it. Number 2 goes deeper into cult status, because some cars stop depreciating when people finally admit they were special. Subscribe if you want cars that make financial sense after the honeymoon ends, not just the ones dealers want moved this month. Number 2. Mazda MX-5, Miata 2006 to 2010. Fun cars usually cost more the longer you keep them, but the right Mazda MX-5 Miata can bend that rule in a way most cheap cars cannot. The mechanism is resale floor plus cult status. A normal old convertible keeps sinking. A clean Miata with records, a dry interior, and honest miles can hold value, sometimes even rising a little if the market gets tighter. Buy an NC generation driver for around $9,000. Year 1, depreciation can be $0 to $300, insurance about $800, and repairs about $900 if tires, fluids, brakes, or top work are due. Year 2, depreciation may be $0, insurance around $750, and repairs around $600. Year 3, resale may stay flat or rise a few hundred if the car is clean, insurance around $700, and repairs around $500. That is why it gets cheaper. The value floor does the heavy lifting, while the light chassis keeps tires, brakes, and fluids reasonable. The market is wrong because some buyers still dismiss it as too small, too soft, or not practical enough. Enthusiasts know better, and clean drivers are disappearing. That is the opportunity window. The 2.0-liter four-cylinder is simple, parts support is huge, and the car rewards the owner who learns basic service. A manual transmission holds demand best, but an automatic can work for relaxed drivers if the price is right and the service history is clean. Current price usually runs from $6,000 to $10,000 for higher mile drivers, with lower mile and special cars above budget. The ownership trick is to keep it stock and honest. Every cheap modification narrows your resale crowd, while factory wheels, clean paint, a good top, and records keep the car liquid. That means when you sell, you are not explaining somebody else's bad decisions. You are selling a known car to a buyer who already wants one. Inspection decides everything. Check soft top condition, water drains, trunk moisture, clutch feel, gearbox behavior, cooling system, tires, brakes, and accident repairs. Look for mismatched paint, bent radiator support, cheap coilovers, and worn interiors that tell a hard story. This is not the car to buy from someone who treated every stoplight like a track day. It is the car to buy from the owner who kept receipts, stored it dry, and did not modify it into trouble. Choose this car when you want a simple, fun car that holds value because the market finally understands what it is. But number one is not here because it is fun. It is here because the annual ownership math is almost unfair. Number 1. Ford Crown Victoria, 2005 to 2011. Nothing about the Ford Crown Victoria looks fashionable, and that is exactly why the money math is so honest. This car proves the whole argument better than anything else here. Depreciation has already bottomed. Parts are everywhere. Mechanics know the Panther platform. Insurance can stay calmer because it is old and low drama. And repairs are predictable because almost nothing is exotic. Buy a clean civilian or well-kept fleet car for around $6,500. Year 1, depreciation may be about $300, insurance around $600, and repairs around $1,000 if tires, brakes, fluids, and suspension need a reset. Year 2, depreciation drops to near $100, insurance to around $550, and repairs to around $700. Year 3, depreciation can be $0, insurance around $500, and repairs around $600. Year 4, resale may stay close to purchase if clean. Insurance can stay around $500, and repairs may remain around $600. That is the cleanest ownership cost decline on the list. The longer you own it, the less the purchase price matters, and the cheaper the cost per mile gets. The market is wrong because it sees an old cop car, taxi car, or grandpa sedan. Smart buyers see body-on-frame simplicity, a 4.6-liter modular V8, a conventional automatic, rear-wheel drive, huge parts support, and room under the hood for human hands. Current price is usually $4,000 to $9,000, with rough ex-police cars cheaper, and low-mile LX cars sometimes above $10,000. The drivetrain is not fast, but it is understressed, durable, and simple to service. Avoid abused police cars with huge idle hours, rust, rear axle noise, hard shifts, and hacked wiring. A clean civilian car is the prize. The beauty is that almost every weak spot is known. Front-end parts, intake seepage on some older examples, brakes, axle noise, and transmission behavior are not mysteries. A shop can price them fast. Parts are common, and you can plan repairs instead of feeling ambushed by a specialist. Inspection is old school. Check frame rust, rocker rust, front suspension, ball joints, steering play, warm transmission shifts, rear axle noise, coolant leaks, brake lines, tires, and air conditioning. If the front end feels loose, price it today. If the transmission bangs hot, walk. Choose this car when you want the best mix of low depreciation, cheaper parts, familiar labor, easy diagnosis, and big car comfort under 10 grand. It earns number 1 because it is not cool, not trendy, and not pretending. It is just honest transportation with math that keeps getting flatter. Buy a clean one, fix the basics, drive it for years, and every year the ownership cost gets more predictable. That is the kind of car the market forgets, until everybody needs cheap transportation again. If this saves you from one expensive used car mistake, subscribe. We show the ownership math before the market catches up. Buyer cheat sheet. Quick and practical, because this whole video only works when you understand why the cost goes down. Mercury Milan is the dead brand sedan for buyers who want Ford family parts, low image tax, and a nearly flat value curve. Toyota Echo is the fuel cost weapon for buyers who want every gallon to stretch farther. The Chevrolet Monte Carlo is the forgotten GM coupe for buyers who want easy parts and low depreciation. Toyota Solara is the Toyota service shortcut for buyers who do not need 4 doors. Acura TSX is the premium-feeling sedan for buyers who want Honda family hardware with less depreciation left. Honda Element is the cargo cult pick for buyers who want utility and a strong resale floor. Mazda MX-5. Miata is the fun car value floor pick for buyers who want low running costs and rising interest. Ford Crown Victoria is the best overall ownership cost pick for buyers who want the flattest depreciation, cheapest parts support, and easiest repair path. The main rule: do not buy the cheapest listing. Buy the car with the cleanest story. The whole idea works only when the first year does not destroy you. Tires, brakes, fluids, rust, warning lights, title history, and service records decide whether the car gets cheaper every year or becomes another regret. If the seller has no records, treat the car like risky transportation. If the tires are bald, the brakes pulse, the coolant smells burnt, or the transmission shifts hard, price that before you fall in love. A floor price car is not magic. It just means depreciation cannot hurt you much more. The savings come from buying a platform mechanics know, keeping repairs predictable, and letting insurance and value loss shrink over time. That is how you beat the payment trap. One last thing. The first year, is where discipline matters. Do fluids, tires, brakes, belts, filters, and known weak points before they fail. After that reset, the yearly bill should feel smaller, calmer, and easier to plan. For the year-by-year math, do not obsess over the exact dollar on paper. Use it as a garage rule. Year 1 is the cleanup bill. Year 2 is the calmer year. Year 3 is when the car should start paying you back by not losing value. If a car still needs the same huge repairs every year, you picked the wrong example, not the wrong idea. The goal is not perfection. The goal is a known machine with known parts, known labor, and a resale floor that does not keep falling. That is why records matter more than wax, and why clean tires matter more than a loud sales pitch. When you find one that starts cold, idles steadily, tracks straight, stops smoothly, and has a boring owner story, that is the car worth chasing. Those are the cars that make ownership feel cheaper, not because nothing breaks, but because every repair is understandable, planned, and priced before panic starts. That is real savings for a careful buyer in every honest driveway today. Click the video on your screen before these floor price cars disappear. Subscribe for reliable picks, cheaper ownership, and the buying math dealers never show you at the lot today.